Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 90 Degree Show, hosted by the Marching Podcast and Blog Talk Radio. Advice may be misleading, but examples are always clear. And here's your host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
All right, good evening and welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard, and happy to be of service for you tonight. Today is November 8th, y'all, 2015, 5 o'clock on the West Coast and 8 o'clock on the East Coast. We appreciate all those listening live, whether in podcast form, whether through iTunes, live, or Blog Talk Radio, our website, or wherever you are on the interwebs this evening. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network, if you feel so in your heart, of course. Just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. All right, well, welcome tonight, and thanks again for listening. Welcome you to week 10 of the season. We pretty much towards the end with a lot of folks, but week 10 is very close to the end. Happy to talk with you another year about our beloved schools. Help turn this music down a little bit. And we have with us tonight the great Christy Walker. Let me unmute her microphone really fast. How are you doing this evening, Miss Christy Walker?
I'm good. How's it going?
Doing pretty good. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I did. I can't believe it's week 10 now. I mean, well, I guess partly I can believe it, but then partly I can't. You know, it seems like the season has flown by. Yep. I definitely feel that. And it seemed like almost a year is almost like gone really fast. Like I was like, wow, this was almost like a year ago. I really feel like it was. So really glad to have you on the show tonight. Tonight, let me see here as I turn the music off here. Let me look here. Tonight, we have, I took a look at South Carolina State and North Carolina A&T. The great North Carolina A&T alma mater here of our own Christy Walker. Yes. I also got a chance to take a look at Prairie View A&M and Alcorn. Turned out to be really exciting, so I was excited to see that. And I'm sure there were some other matchups that you, the listener, could call in and tell us about, and we would love to do that or have you do that at 718-664-6025. Call in and school us on what you saw this weekend. That would be really, really cool. Tonight, show is brought to you by, or the videos that I saw were again from Mr. JT85, Mr. Travis Johnson, shout out to you, man, and HBCUbands.com, our own Gerard Howard, own sponsor of the network with HBCUbands.com, and you guys can check out bandhead.org as well. So thank you very much. Saw a little bit of Zen Ballistics video. I know that's I know Lewis and the guy Ricky, I think DeGarza or something, I believe. But they did a lot. Shout out to Prairie View, though. I slept on Prairie View. Just you slept on them?
I not this year, but just overall. Let me give them an applause.
Come on.
I remember because we didn't see them like when I was there, so they were just like out of sight, out of mind.
They've always been a solid program, though.
A solid program, yeah. But when I was there, we never went to Prairie View, and they never came to see us. So it was just like whatever with Prairie View as far as like my mental. But then like seeing and hearing about them, you know, those first couple of years in the Honda, I was like, okay. I was just like, okay. But once we started doing the show, the first couple of years, you know, we hadn't looked, but this year I really got a chance to really, really look at them. And I saw them last year. They did the SWAC Battle of the Bands, and they're good, man. But like you said, a solid program. I'm really proud of them. Definitely adding that parity but really impressed with what I saw from them this weekend, not to give away the show. Did you get a chance to check out anybody this week, Christy?
Well, it's funny you mention that because right this minute, I sent it out on Periscope. So if you're listening, you can follow me on Periscope. That's Christy5Q, CHRISTY, the number 5 and the letter Q. Anyway, right now what's going on is the National High School High Stepping Championship. It's taking place in Memphis. And I guess I'm going to assume that Alabama A&M and Tennessee State are doing exhibition for that event. And so It's going out now. Like, I don't know if you can hear it from my phone.
I just got 6 minutes ago from Rod C. Okay.
Yeah, that's who I was sending out. Yeah. So from Rod, I know him personally, and so he's on the field and he's filming them, and it looks like to me Alabama A&M is playing a song and Tennessee State is playing a song. I think they're just kind of going back and forth. So yeah, that's what's going on right now. And also, let's see, let me turn my phone down because I will be looking at this and then talking to you all nonsense, and we're on live. So, I didn't really see a whole bunch of bands this weekend. I saw a little clip of South Carolina State. I know they played A&T, and while I didn't go to that game, I'd heard, some good things. And so, that's really, for the most part, all that I saw. Maybe I ended up seeing somebody else and couldn't remember. Maybe you'll help me jog my memory because I feel like I was sending more. Oh, you know what? I saw Jackson State, but they were playing. I don't know who they were playing, but
Bama State.
Bama State ended up not coming, and plus it was raining. But still, I got to see a little bit of them, and then I also got to see a little bit of Norfolk State because it was their homecoming this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, so I sent out those clips on Periscope. I forwarded them to everybody on my list, but I got to see a little bit of them too. So, it's week 10. If you don't have it together, it's not going to happen. And, right now we're kind of just on the back end of the season, unfortunately. And so, I hope to see no huge surprises from anybody. It's pretty much, status quo what I've seen. But I will say that I have not seen South Carolina State this year until yesterday. And that was interesting because I know that they have an interim director, and I don't know who this person is. I didn't catch their name, but they do have an interim director, and they were announced as the interim director. And so with them going to Honda in a couple months and, them going through some transition because Mr. Ellis is no longer there, I expected them to be kind of bad, but they weren't. I always give somebody with a new director the benefit of the doubt. I always will. But they did okay. I don't know how they're going to fare up in the whole Honda matchup, in the whole Honda lineup with all the bands that's going there. But it was good to see them.
Okay. Well, let's see. I think we have Rashad here. Let me unmute the microphone. Is this you, Rashad?
Yes, it is, brother. What's going on?
Doing all right, Rashad, man. Hey, man. I think you were at that meeting last week. So I was like, man, I just feel off. I was like, Rashad wasn't here. I was a little off this week. So this week I was off with the YouTube and all the posting and stuff. So I'll get it back together this week. But glad to have you back, man. How was that meeting, man?
Oh no, it was not a meeting. It was the North Carolina Show-Style Band Directors Association State Championship, which of course is.
Oh, okay, the band competition. Okay.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Okay.
So that was a good time to be had by all. An event that was held, it was actually held indoors due to the weather. And, I think there was about 10 or 11 bands there. It was kind of hard to tell because they couldn't get every band in there at the same time. There would be only a sum of the bands in there at any given time.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Well, that's what's up, man. We definitely hear from you guys about it. I want to go ahead and play the sponsorship, but I'll keep you guys on the line because we have we always inviting hella folks, but we have accepted or welcomed into the arms another family member, if you will, into the sponsorship of the Marching Podcast. Mr. Barney Smart and Double Time Entertainment is also down, and one of those beloved people that help us give out scholarships and help broadcast during these times. I worked with Barney this week getting some things together, so I actually have a little something to write until we create the audio commercial for you guys. So shout out to him, and thanks for the support. We are definitely feel like we're going somewhere, but we're definitely moving behind things and making this happen for our craft. So thanks again to Barney and all the folks there at Double Time Entertainment. All right?
He's good people.
Yes, and it's really cool.
Good people.
I'm glad you said that. I, as folks know, I can't go into the whole Hampton story of how it was, but definitely I feel like I'm able to pay his father back. Rest his soul. He's gone, but definitely my time meeting him was a little off. I'll just say that. For all the folks that actually remember, I have told this story, and I will spare my mother the details again. But I feel like now I can pay him back and working with his son now, and we'll be able to provide something. Maybe, who knows, put another young, promising trumpet player there with the force in Hampton based on what happened with me. So we will go into the commercials. Thanks again. Let me mute the microphone. And I don't have, but you guys, I think I'm going to go ahead and share it out. I'm going to see if I can share that with the folks in the chat room. But Double Time Entertainment has their own song. That's correct. They have their own song. So we will definitely be putting that out there. But right fast, you can email the show at marchingpodcast@gmail.com, tweet us at marchingpodcast, or follow our blog the number 4.themarchingpodcast.com. If you're listening live and have a Blog Talk Radio account, you can log into the chat room and leave your comments there. Last and definitely not least, check out the website, themarchingpodcast.com. Let's take the time to hear from our sponsors. Tonight's show is brought to you by Liquid Effects Photography, The Edge One Productions, Block Band Music, HBCUbands.com, and Double Time Entertainment. Okay? Our passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school through high-quality movie videos and photos. We have worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company. We have been featured on CNN, Lifetime Network for the series Bama State Style. Also helped with Orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions. We also became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina. My mother's from Charlotte, so you know. Join us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Okay? Music lovers are noteworthy. Okay? So check that out. Thanks again for listening.
Hey, this your girl, Casey Nesbitt, 2000 graduate of Jackson State University, Crab of 1996 of the Sonic Boom of the South, 2002 graduate of North Carolina Agriculture and Technical State University, Aggie Pride, also a proud member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, Fall 1997 Delta Pi Chapter, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
Having an anniversary party, birthday party, or better yet, you're about to marry that special someone? Liquid Effects Photography is the perfect choice to immortalize all your most special moments. With 10 years of dependable professional service that can deliver from the conventional to the best in cutting-edge technology and creativity. Come experience the uniqueness of Liquid Effects Photography. We serve the entire upper Midwest and will travel further upon request. Come check us out at liquideffects.com. That's LIQUIDEFFEX.com. Or call us at 773-454-5556. That's 773-454-5556.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to dance footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is the social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Hello, this is Dr. Kevin Davenport, graduate of Tennessee State University and author of the book, Practical Techniques for Building a High School Marching Band. You are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
From the commercial break with the Sounds of Dynamite, Alcorn State University, y'all. Telling us that they like it when their face is known. The song, somebody had to break it down to me. As I bring our crowd, somebody had to break it down with the song. Yeah, I just thought it was something.
I have no idea what you're saying.
What you say, Rashad?
I have no idea what you're saying right now.
I know. I was like, is it just me?
Really? You guys don't know what that song is about?
No, I couldn't hear it. We couldn't hear you because our phone was playing so long.
Oh, okay, good. You know what? It's maybe good. Maybe good that you didn't hear it. But yeah, I didn't know what the song was about. Somebody had to break it down to me. So.
What did they tell you?
That the song was not about the girl. Kind of like Tupac's song, Me and My Girlfriend Was Not Really a Girl.
Right.
That song is the same thing. I thought it was actually a female he was talking about. No, someone said, no, it's about the white girl. Or the white horse. The white, what is it? The white something. The snowman.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay. So, that's Alcorn was telling us that. But I was really impressed with that song. That's why I brought us back from the break. So, 718-664-6025. Thanks for listening. Wanted to see what you guys how your weeks was. I know that you said, Christy, I'll give you the floor. You said that you saw South Carolina State. But anything about that game or anything about A&T in particular that you want to talk about in the first segment?
Well, you want to talk about football or band? Because I got plenty to say when it comes to football. I'm so glad we won that game. It was the first time we won in South Carolina State since was it 30-something years? It was ridiculous. Not the first time we beat them, but the first time, like, in their stadium.
Right, Orangeburg.
Yeah. So, anyway, I'm very pleased about that. But, I mean, band, I guess, you know, A&T, I thought they did a good show. South Carolina State, you know, I said in the past, you know, a couple weeks ago, well, actually last week when we talked about the Honda, I was kind of surprised to see them on the lineup, and I still am surprised. Just because I didn't feel like they were really making a lot of noise in the band world this year. But, you know, like I said, I give them the benefit of the doubt because they have an interim director. And so we'll see what they bring in at Honda. They better not beef up because, you know, I'm going to call them out. You know, being an Aggie and all. But, yeah, we'll see.
That's
I got
cool.
my eyes on them.
Yeah, I enjoy the performance. It still trips me out to see South Carolina State. Rashad, did you get a chance to see A&T and South Carolina State?
That is a very interesting question, and I have a very interesting answer to that. The answer is no, I did not see them per se. However, I did hear them, and the reason I say that is because it is a 3-hour drive from Suffolk, Virginia, back to Durham, North Carolina. I was at the Kings Fork High School band competition yesterday, which is always a big competition in Virginia. And so, you know, I was listening, you know, to a lot of the stuff while I was driving home. And so I heard the halftime show. I did see the fifth quarter today, but I heard the halftime show. Personally, first of all, full disclosure, you know, not full disclosure, but I guess, truth be told, we all know that A&T has done this show several times. You know, that I guess they're just coming off of the Power and Glory show that was so well done. So instead of trying to do another different show, maybe that took so much out of them that they decided to go back to an older show. You know, so, you know, all hate aside for that, for anybody that wants to talk about that. Outside of that, A&T played circles around South Carolina State. This is what I heard. You know, as I'm listening to the music, I actually listened to South Carolina State's show first. I was like, okay, you know, the show sounds pretty decent. You know, they don't sound bad. I wish I could have seen it to know what the lines look like. But if you compare that to North Carolina A&T, which I heard second, my God, it's like they're just playing. They're playing. Mm-hmm. So I definitely have to, in terms of music, I have to give that win to North Carolina A&T hands down. I wish I could have seen the drill, but the music, hands down, A&T.
Well, I saw the drill, and I have to say, South Carolina State was drastically better from their homecoming performance. I think we saw them just last week, and I wasn't thrilled. And, hey, I give it to them. Maybe it's just homecoming. You just out there for your fans or, the people. But they were on it. I felt that they look good. The video, you guys check out Trap's video, man, they look good. They were marching. They were uniform. They had the old school, remember you guys, I told you about the Tecmo Bowl, Bethune Fam. They had, you know how South Carolina State used to have that? They had that, but they had energy. So they were, fast. I mean, they had some heart out there. It's like they came to play for A&T. They definitely wanted to show up. So that was, the main thing that jumped out at me.
I can't wait to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, so they had a good show, and like you said, they didn't sound bad. Let me look down here because I had wanted to. Oh no, that was about A&T. So you said that A&T. Well, let me. Okay, the other thing that jumped out about South Carolina State was that they only had the 6 girls, and just the whole band being small. Just seeing them in the stands, it's like that's not South Carolina State. You know what I mean? That look that looks like Central or Central State. Not North Carolina Central, but it just looks like a smaller program versus what I'm used to seeing.
South Carolina State being at least 200. You know, a small South Carolina State is 200.
I remember the year I was at Smith, this game, South Carolina A&T, was in Charlotte.
And
South Carolina A&T.
South Carolina.
No,
South
I
Carolina.
gotta hold up, my brother. I gotta call you out on that. South Carolina A&T, you got to do better. Got to do better.
What you mean?
We don't have a limited time to do the show, you know.
What I do wrong?
You said South Carolina A&T.
Oh, like it was one school?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, it's the Twitter. It's all the Twitter stuff I be doing. I'm sorry.
See, you doing too much, doing the most. You doing the most.
I know. South Carolina State versus North Carolina A&T. That game, is that like the border battle? Is that what they used to call it?
Yeah, Battle of the Border. Mm-hmm.
Battle of the Border. Okay, so that was in Charlotte the year I was at Smith. And I'll never forget, like, oh, my God, look at how they filled the stadium. Because, that's how – I was our normal stadium. But it wasn't that many people at our game. So I was like, wow, this is amazing. And, I mean, both bands were big. So, I mean, that was a nice experience for me. Every time I see these schools, I always think about going to that game and just how packed it was.
What year was that, your first year?
96.
Oh, okay. I was marching in. Okay.
Oh, you was over there? I remember Cole Steele was over there clowning. I was like, oh, look at it. And I think y'all had like a skin or men battle, I think.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Did y'all
play? Mm-hmm.
Oh, I remember that. Yo, Christy, you were over there, yo?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's tight. Hold on. I got to give you some props on that one. That was fun. Like, just making a connection with you in that band. I was in the crowd. That was fun. Seeing that.
I was there.
Yeah, that was like. What'd you say,
Rashad? That was back in 1996 when John Hodge would say things like, the announcer, not the director, would say things like, they did a nationwide search for the best band on the East Coast. North Carolina A&T band. Nationwide search for the best band on the East Coast. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was up. That's what's up, man. So that's really cool. I make that connection with you. But yeah, I always thought about that. But just how small they were, that's what jumped out. A&T though, remember a couple weeks ago, Chrissy, Bethune-Cookman had we talked about them, and I said that their dance piece sounded swackish. And I mean, it just did. 'Cause, I mean, there is some differences, like swag, you know what I'm saying? And,
Here we go.
So,
Here we freaking go. Here we go.
But not bad. I mean, for real, though, like, MEAC, y'all like East Coast. It's Florida, too, but it's y'all East Coast. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it is. Like, North Carolina, y'all, it's a little bit like, you know what I'm saying, y'all, you know, a little bit more lyrical from New York. You know what I mean? Well, not you people.
Exactly. That's what that is, though, Rashad. You got it.
No,
it's people.
Us. No, I'm saying us because it's a good thing because, like, y'all, and then y'all into basketball more, like, you know what I'm saying? But, like, SWAC is a little bit more like, you know, different football maybe, like football-ish, like, you know. Mm-hmm. But the song that North Carolina A&T played was like MEAC-ish. Like, I liked it. I really liked it. But it was like rocking in the MEAC version. So if somehow I could have you listen to both songs, it's a good thing. That's why I was bringing it up, because I wanted you to see, like, man, this song was nice. So, like, it was funky, but it was MEAC funky. It had like a MEAC flavor to it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm saying.
Right.
Cricket, cricket, chirp, chirp, chirp.
I'm for real. I mean, it was
hard thought at South Carolina A&T. Don't mind her.
Yeah, I really didn't mean. Yeah, I really didn't mean that. But it was like funky, like what I was playing. So that was the main thing that I was like, man, I really like this song. And I have to ask you, Chrissy, did they form? Was that a 128 that they formed on the FIFA?
It's 125 because next year we'll be celebrating the university will be turning 125. So, and they're doing, you know, like the marketing and branding folks at A&T, they're doing like this push because it's 125. So that's what that's about.
Well, it looked nice, and the band executed well. How I felt they won the performance, other than just being bigger and just sounding better, was like their transition was different. And again, A&T being creative, they did a lot of transition with like death marches, and like I think they like walked to block band almost. Like it was really
done that
tight.
Before.
Yeah, so again, that's something for me. I was like, man, that's again changing the game. Like even little small transitions like that just sets them apart. So it's hard. Even though South Carolina State, they knew they had to show up. I'm glad that they showed up. I still felt A&T kind of had a little bit of the different with them. I guess I don't know if you guys got to check out the fifth quarter, but it was pretty much the same. It wasn't that long. It was a decent fifth, but again, South Carolina. The play calling was good though. The play calling was good between both schools. South Carolina State wasn't laying down, you know. But A&T, they play. Of course, they're good with dynamics, and they play like this real big dramatic theme. I actually got it on the clip, playing in the next commercial. But I really like that song. And South Carolina State, they had like a little short 90s battle. Right, A&T plays Shy. That if I ever, fall in love, and then of course South Carolina State came with my favorite, Pretty Brown Eyes, but with just like the 80 people that they had, or 100, whatever it was, you heard the difference sound wise. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, overall, you have to give it to A&T, but man, we're praying for South Carolina State. We're praying for all the bands and all the turmoil and anywhere going on in any school. So. That was the main thing that jumped out at me. Christy, any other, I know you said, was there any other thing that you had checked out on Periscope? Anything that you want to talk about in this first segment?
Well, I saw a little snip of Norfolk State during their homecoming. And I feel like nobody, maybe I'm just being over the top with it, because Norfolk State, I consider as one of my rival bands, and I know a lot of people. I actually used to work there, and I know a lot of people affiliated with that program, and they kind of get on my nerves sometimes, but I still love them. Anyway, so I saw a clip of them from homecoming, and I feel like nobody, like at the beginning of the season, I don't feel like a lot of the band world was really checking for Norfolk State. But I have to say that, I don't know if I want to call them a best-kept secret, but, being that they've got, like, a lot of stuff going on with their university and the money and things, I feel like they're getting better as the season progresses. So, for a homecoming show.
There's some mix, definitely.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit better, and I wish that, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, I wish that more of the band world got to see them this year. I got sick to my stomach. I might try heave.
I'm right there with you, Christy. Right there with you.
Yeah. I know it's got to be hard for Rashad being from Hampton. Oh, Lord.
Oh, my
anyway.
God, yes.
So yeah, I mean they're getting better. They're getting better each game. So good for them. Good for them. We still put foot in. Anyway, this is a family show.
Yes. I was actually laughing because when I actually first met Rashad, I think I was starting off the show with "Behold." How pleasant it is for brethren it is. See, y'all already knew. I just said, behold, and I'm thinking, Psalm 133. Rashad was like, whoa. And like we didn't know each other. We just met. He was like, you starting the show with, what is that? I was like, Psalm 133. Oh, I thought it was some old Norfolk Say stuff. And I was like, my bad.
First of all, the way you say Norfolk, we can tell you ain't from here. But anyway, go ahead. So
so I was like, oh snap, so that's really cool. And even to say it now, Chris, she's like, that's all good, but that's good stuff. You know what I mean? Good rivalries, y'all. Good rivalries. Well, I have to make sure I check that out. Shout out to Mr. Bethea. Was one of my old band directors there at Jackson State. And remember, he's a really good dude. So shout out to him. I'm really glad he's got his shot up there. I actually remember right before he left, and of course all the turmoil went down when he left, but glad that he's back on his feet and everything. All right, guys. Oh, well, you know what, Rashad? We got, some more time in this segment. You want to tell us about what happened last week, or, what went on with you this week?
Okay. Well, so I saw a lot. So I did see Norfolk State versus Savannah State, and I thought that battle would have went quite differently. I saw Savannah State in person on yesterday. They came to the King Forks Battle of the Band. Savannah State is working their behind off. They were really, really, really impressive. They're much better than they were when I saw them at Dillon. They are, it seems like Mr. Graham is working hard in order to get that band where he wants them to be. They played a really slow song. I think it's Play Another Slow Jam. This time make it sweet. I think that was the song that they played. And those tubas, man, they were rocking. So I'm like, okay. So I saw that first, and then I watched them on Periscope today versus Norfolk State. So I thought that battle would have gone a lot differently. I did not see the halftime. I just saw the fifth. The fifth quarter was a complete slaughter. I'm just sorry. I apologize, but it's true. It's definitely obvious where the attention to detail for Savannah State is right now. The attention to detail is on the show, because the attention to detail is not in the stands right now. The band has not bought in to the overall sound concept totally yet. And you see that same type of thing in South Carolina State. We talked about that earlier this year when they were playing FAM. Like when they would play some of their older songs, it would sound like old South Carolina State. But when they would play some of the new stuff, it had a different transitional type of sound. And that same type of thing is the case with Savannah State. When they're doing the show, they sound great. They sound fantastic. Wow, that's a new direction for Savannah State. But when they're playing in the stands, it's kind of like, oh, people are sticking out. People are blasting. It's a small band. It just doesn't sound that good, and people are sticking out. On the other end, however, Norfolk State was like way on the other end. Like the way he was set up, it seemed like Norfolk was in the end zone, and Savannah State was on the other side of the field, but where the bands would normally sit. So it's like the person is standing right in front of Savannah State, and then like Norfolk is like so far away that you can't even really see them, honestly. And Norfolk is not that big. But this huge sound kept coming from the other side of the field. I'm like, is that Norfolk? I'm like, is the alumni playing with the band? Like, I'm going to say this too. I'm going to say this, and then, Joe, you're going to have to delete this episode, okay? So you guys are listening, hear this once because you'll never hear this episode again. There are glimpses of time when Norfolk is playing that, in my simple and humble but accurate opinion, Norfolk State is the best-sounding band in show-style bands right now. There are glimpses. No, I didn't say overall. That's fine. It's okay to refuse that. However, it's true. There are times when Norfolk plays, when you listen to those tubas, and those tubas are so well in tune, and those baritones are so well in tune, and the whole band is so full. And I remember listening to another clip of them that was completely different, and they're just, the trumpets are doing these runs. I'm like, my God. Let me adjust that. I'll say that they are the best sounding band pound for pound in the nation. Because maybe they're not the best overall just because they don't necessarily have the entire instrumentation they might want to have. But pound for pound, if you were to take the same number of people out of any band across the country and put them up against Norfolk State, I think that Norfolk State would beat any band if you'd have the same number of people. So that was one battle that I saw.
Because Texas Southern is like, or I think maybe I need to look at Norfolk because I know Texas Southern is not that big, but like they have like a good complete sound. You think they sound better than them?
Yes. Oh, absolutely, definitely.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
Let me find out.
I also saw Virginia Union in person yesterday. I thought they did a very good job. Everybody, we've seen a lot of things. People have been really impressed with them. continuing to grow and get better. We're still working on some intonation things, but overall sounding good. Tubas are really powerful. Again, full disclosure, we did do the arrangement of Shame that they play, so I don't want to give too much credit, but I think they did get a lot. They got a lot of props from the students that they performed for. So great job to them.
What was the baton dude there?
See, you know what? You messy.
No, I'm saying, was he there? Because he's my favorite.
He was the showstopper, actually. He was the particularly the ladies in there were, every time he moved, they were, yeah.
That's my boy, man. I like him, man. That's my boy.
I think, although I think he needs to get a uniform. Well, I think he had a uniform before, but this time he just kind of had on some shorts. And then, I don't know. He needs a uniform, because the rest of the band had on like sweats and things, and the girls had on something, and he just needed something that looked a little better. But let me see here, real quick. The number one thing that I saw, Joe, Christy, the fifth quarter between Prairie View and Alcorn.
Oh, okay.
Where did that come from? You talking about some Norfolk State being some Bics. Best kept secret, y'all, for the Bics. Wow, because I hadn't seen Prairie View all season. Prairie View sounds amazing. They sound amazing.
On them? I guess I was not sleeping on them because Joe said it earlier. I mean, they always been good to me, though. I don't know.
No, they hadn't always been good. When they got the new director, it's taken a second for them to get together.
Me.
Huh?
I said keyword.
Oh, to you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I just didn't know. I just, like you said, so I know that like they were winning the Honda, but then it felt like they like kind of disappeared a little while. But Chris, you pretty much saying they've been pretty much consistent throughout these years.
Yes.
Wow.
They just picked up a new director, I think 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
So, and it hurts me to my heart. It hurts me to my. I mean, I need counseling here because their band director came from Norfolk State.
Yep.
Really? Okay.
But Prairie View has such a clean sound. Like Prairie View is starting to develop the sound that I want to hear because they're powerful. Like they're really, really strong. But when you hear them play, it's not like it's like I mean, it's just it's so clean when they play. It's a beautiful sound they have, and it's not consistent all the time, but it's consistent most of the time. And the thing that was so much fun watching that battle, and let me give me full props here. I mean, let me give props. Alcorn sounded pretty good over there too. They're just not on the same level with Prairie View, but wow, they're getting better because they're better than they were last year, and last year they were much better than they were 2 years ago. So Alcorn is starting to get up there. Somebody I heard say in the fifth quarter, and I thought about you, Joe, that Alcorn is the best band in Mississippi right now. That's what they said.
Okay.
Now, I don't know about that. I have yet to see an Alcorn halftime show. I did watch Jackson State's homecoming show from last week, and I was not happy. So, maybe they are. I don't know. But anyway, Prairie View and the Alcorn, great battle. But the thing I loved about it is that it's in the middle of the rain, and why you see other bands like last week, I think Alabama A&M and State, they played one song or two, and they're like, man, it's raining, we out of here. Like those bands stayed there nearly an hour playing back and forth. The Woodwinds weren't playing because of the rain. And it's like when you look at Prairie View's band, they look like they're having so much fun. Like they just look like this is the greatest. It doesn't even look like the rain is falling on them because they just look like this is the best thing I've ever done. And you look at Alcorn's band, it's kind of like it's wet over here.
All right, so Rashad, hold that thought. Because, I want to piggyback off what you just said, but I knew 5:45 was rolling around, or 8:45.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's do the commercial break, and we'll come back and drop right back what you talking about with Prairie View and Prairie View and Alcorn. So let me mute the microphones, and let's do the commercials right quick. You're listening to
Week 10. Here. Thanks again for listening. We'll be back.
Hi, this is Steve Termenstein, or Mr. T, as my former band students at Lutheran North High School in St. Louis know me. A while ago, I talked with Joe Beard, a North grad, who I taught and coached in band and track. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from pro bass to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Need to write music and drill? Get it on the field. Outfit your band. Keep your administrator happy and still have a life. Encountering drama in the process, ain't nobody got time for that. Let Block Band Music assist you with musical arrangements and drills to fit your band, and also the equipment, gear, and accessories to keep the visuals, music, and marching on point. Contact blockbandmusic@gmail.com and see how this worldwide minority-owned business can uplift your band.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
This is Joshua Cousin, representing the Ocean of Soul, and you're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
Brought us back, Prairie View A&M with, oh man, I forgot the song already, but bringing us back from the break. Let me unmute these microphones right here. Pleasure Principle, Janet Jackson, really liked that sound, that arrangement. I know we played that back in '97. I think Mr. Adams wrote it. But really, really, again, you know, Rashad and I, we just like that. You know, Prairie View, they nice, man. I have to give it to them. Shouts out to you, Lewis. Shout out to you, man, 'cause I know that's your school. That's your B-tone section out there. But they sounding good, and really, really happy to see that. Right quick, again, I want to tell you guys about Double Time Entertainment. Their passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school through high-quality movie videos and photos. They've worked with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company. They've been featured on CNN, Lifetime Network for the series Bama State Style. They also help and orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing promotions and became the official now media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands there in Charlotte, North Carolina. So join them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Double Time Entertainment. Music lovers are noteworthy. Okay? So back to Prairie View and Alcorn, and we were getting a little bit of the Prunalysis. So let's go back to the Prunalysis, if you will. But I wanted to just piggyback and let you continue. That was the biggest thing that I saw, too. They were having the time of their lives, and I'm sure 20 years from now, they'll be doing a chopping it up, and they'll be like, man, I remember we was in the rain, and we had to read, so we couldn't play, and we was doing all of this stuff. But definitely Alcorn, I guess they weren't doing anything, or they were instructed to be still. You know what I'm saying? But it worked out for Prairie View to me. Like it made it look more enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Definitely. Yeah. I mean, even because when I first started watching, I'm like, okay, why are they playing this song when the Woodwinds are not playing? Like, because I didn't see the rain. I just wasn't feeling the road past the rain. Like, why are the Woodwinds playing? That's kind of weird. Why are they just dancing? What's wrong with them? I was like, oh, it's raining, But it was more than just the fact that the Woodwinds were dancing, because even the brass section, it's like every time they put their horns down, during the middle of the song, they just had these big smiles on their faces. Like, man, like I just love what I'm doing. It's just like, when you are performing, that's like the 90% of the, well, not 90, but 89% of the job is you should look like you are enjoying what you're doing. You look like you're really into it. It just really sells it. And so, but, I mean, it wasn't just the fact that they were enjoying themselves. Like, Prairie View, like, wow, they really just sounded amazing. But, again, great job to Alcorn. Alcorn's baritone section is really, really good. They add a lot to their band. They're not overbearing. They don't play out of tune. It's just this nice, full, single note that's coming through the band sometimes, and it's just boom, it does what it should do. It makes the band sound bigger. A lot of times when baritones come through, they try to overshadow the band. They got the melody going, and all of a sudden this baritone comes through, and it just craps on the melody, and it's like, okay, that was great. You can all play one loud note. Fantastic. But these baritones, they would come through, and they would, pretty much be in tune and really make the overall sound of Alcorn's band sound fuller and better. So props to them. I can't wait to see what Alcorn looks like next year if they continue on this track that they're on now.
That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding. One thing that jumped out to me that I liked was the warm-ups. Alcorn had some, some rain-proof gear, or that's what they wear in the rain. That's like the bomb to me, to see like the band have the multiple uniforms or the multiple looks, the alternate uniforms, like Oregon, if you will. I've told a story a lot. I think I was 94. I was in Chicago, I believe, or Indianapolis, one of the two. And Jackson, it was raining, and I think it was against Bama State. I think Jackson State, and the bands couldn't go on the field, so they marched to the home side, and they marched in place on the sideline to the home crowd, and they did a show right to the sideline, and they didn't, they just marked time in their positions right there on the sideline playing the show. Man, I'll never forget that. But they had these blue ponchos on, and I told a lot of folks, a lot of old heads, I was like, man, I think I knew I was going to Jackson State then because I wanted me a blue poncho like that in the rain. But Alcorn, they looked tight in the little warm-ups, and because it didn't even look like them. I was like, that's Alcorn? Because the colors was off. But, man, I really like seeing that. And then they had hoods. I was like, dude, I was like, so I really enjoyed seeing that. I did, man, because, that's that flair, you know what I'm saying? Or that's just like saying, like, oh, yeah, we got uniforms, but, in the rain, we got this, too. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's definitely supporting of the program, you know what I'm saying? But I agree with you, Rashad. Like, it was one of the best fits I've seen this year, and that's why I was telling Chrissy that earlier. I had to give Prairie View A&M props because I saw them now against UAPB and against Southern, and now here, and they just good, man. They're consistent, and the play calling was pretty good. And I was impressed with Alcorn too because, like you said, they're getting better. And shouts out to Maurice. Trump Funk, Maurice Bailey. I know he said that a couple years ago that Alcorn was getting better. And he was like, watch out. But they are. They're more clean and, with a lot more power than I'm used to.
Because I've been using that red kryptonite.
I know.
I know. Cause see, they trying. You see how they trying to come with the power now too, just like Jack Stacey. It's this. Oh man, see, it's a trip, man. So
okay, but you mentioned something, Joe. I have not heard a lot from Pine Bluff this year. What's going on with them?
Well, I saw them against Prairie View, and I thought that they were really good. And I remember Chris Jones. You guys remember Chris Jones? I remember he was like singing their praises at the beginning of the year. I just haven't seen any more from them. But I'm sure that, to me, they sound, they're like similar. Them, Prairie View, and like Texas Southern is like, there's a similarity with them. Maybe like the power or the arrangements or something, but there's some stability there. You know, there's some legitimacy there.
We did a show of A&M versus UAPB, I think last month.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. A&M. That's right. That which was good. And that's right. That's what it was. And that was a good matchup, you know. But I guess nothing that jumps out at you unless, you know, we see them every week. And I guess if we could watch them every week, someone could tell us. But I think they're legitimate. I think they're right there with Prairie View or, you know, something. Did you guys see that SWAC Battle of the Bands that one year where it was just all the halftime show? Maybe 2 years ago at the SWAC Championship, they had a Battle of the Bands, and all the bands in the SWAC did a halftime show. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah, I remember it. But what's interesting is that, like, in '99 when they first started doing the SWAC Championship, I actually went to that and saw all 10 of the bands there. So, yeah, but I do remember vaguely them having it a couple years ago.
And they were all good. That's why I brought it up. I thought they were all good. All the bands did well. Like, there wasn't, like, this huge drop-off of, like, one band was here, one band was there. So UAPB, I think they've just been consistent. We just don't cover them as much here on the show. You know, shout out to, I think, Terrell Stringer. Did Terrell go to UAPB? No, Terrell went to Lincoln.
No, yeah, he went to Lincoln.
Yeah, that's
Lincoln,
what I'm thinking. Man, I'm starting to shout out to the GroupMe app for Block Band. You meet so many young directors. I'm starting to get them confused, man, from all our schools out doing a great job changing the world. So shout out to Block Band again. Just meeting all these young directors that are doing their thing out here. I'm starting to like confuse all so many. But yeah,
man, I'm not invited to that. I'm not on the GroupMe. Oh well. Okay.
You want to buy
feeling the
some
love.
spats? If you buy some spats, I will put you on the GroupMe.
Oh no, I'm good. I'm just playing.
Man, I wish I had my little thing on here. I had missed it. I was late on.
Yeah,
I gotta scroll. I gotta scroll up and down for it, man. So, but yeah, shout out to you, man. And I'm sure, yeah. I thought Christy was on. I thought she was on there already, Christy. You know.
No, I'm not. It's okay. It's all good.
So yeah, my bad. So moving forward, I thought it was just really close to call, but like you said, shout out to Gerard, shout out to Ricky, shout out to all the people that were in the rain. I know Gerard posted on YouTube that he had some issues with the weather and stuff, but shout out to you for even being there. Shout out to all the videographers. I love what you do, and I appreciate what you do, so I'm able to check it out. And I was just happy that it was long, you know what I mean, but they were in the rain. Like, I just thought that was really, really cool. They were out there battling. Yeah, and they were having such a good time. I think they'll be having, you know, that memory for a long time. I think Okay, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No,
well,
go ahead.
I'm just getting a message from Barney Smart. It's funny that you mentioned him and Double Time Entertainment, but he just sent me he sent all of us a Facebook message saying that Minor High School from Birmingham has won the high stepping championship for the third year in a row.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow!
Okay.
Birmingham.
Yep.
Okay, shout out to you. Shout out to you there, Lolita Carter.
out there. If you're listening out there, representing Birmingham now. So that's cool. That's all right. That's actually some really good news. And we want to have more of those programs out here and all over the country, so like our young kids can compete into something. Or maybe even seeing more of the admin seeing that, their band can participate in something. But we'll get it there. We'll definitely get it there. The only last thing I wanted to say, Rashad, about that was, I'm glad you hold me to a standard. So like you say, like, hey, if they did something, you got to say, Prairie View did do something that I normally hate, but it was tight. It was tight. So I gotta say I was wrong in this instance about flashes and the choreography in the stands and a little bit with the chants. So did you see they did the whole Thriller thing?
Oh, yeah,
Okay, Thriller. Like Dave Chappelle said, Thriller. It was.
What was with the tempo? Oh, right. What was with the tempo though? It was like it was chilling. You know what I mean?
I didn't like that part. They played it too slow. But the choreography that the whole band did in the stands, that was tight, because it was the dance. And then at the end I was like, okay, that was tight. So I guess it's how you do it. In a presentation, but I guess you can pull it off. But I normally would be like, if they did too much of that, they would have took an L. I think that actually pushed them over the top, because they were already having fun. But basically, when they put out there, and shout out to Alcorn, because they definitely, it was like they had the killer instinct throughout the whole battle. Like they wasn't playing over it. Alcorn didn't think it was fun. You know what I'm saying?
You think it was funny, right?
So shout out to them for keeping it hard, keeping it gangster, But Thriller though, man, that I was like, you know what, I gotta tell Rashad about this, man. Thriller was tight. So that's the fifth. Christy, was there anything else you wanted to bring up in this segment?
No, I'm good.
Rashad, anything else that you want to bring up in this segment, man?
Yes, let's go there. Let's go there. So you said that Norfolk State is not the best sounding band in the nation right now, and I'm saying pound for pound. So okay, so who is? If it's not them, who is? Because it's not Southern, it's not Jackson, and I'm talking stands only, because a lot of these bands I haven't seen on the field. It's not Southern, it's not Jackson, it's not A&T, it's not South Carolina State, it's not Miles. Who is it? Who is the best sounding band in the stand?
There are several that I think are sounding good. There are several. I like the way that Alabama A&M. I like their sound. I would say not Prairie View. I know. I have my other issues with this band, but I would say Bethune-Cookman. You cannot beat them when it comes to a ballad. I'm sorry. Talk about them all you want, but you can't beat them when it comes to a ballad. Those are the ones coming up off the top of my head.
Playing 5 songs in the stands kind of eliminates you from the list, in my opinion. I think they have a great sound. I think Bethune-Cookman, particularly on the field, well, I would probably say they have the best sound on the field. But their repertoire in the stands this year has been so disappointing. Like every time I've seen them on Periscope, it's just like Ice Cream Man every time.
But we're talking about sound. We are talking about sound. I didn't say, you didn't say repertoire. You didn't say field show. You didn't say. I'm basing it on sound.
Well, when I say sound, what I mean is a good portion of sound is not only it's also what are you playing. Like it's one thing to play a whole note. It's a whole other thing to play. Well, so let me define sound. What I mean is, who is the best band that plays something that's challenging and still sounds fantastic playing it? That you can hear the articulation, you can hear if people are in tune, the balance is great. So articulation, balance, and blend. And, execution, all of those things are fantastic all together, and projection.
I still stand with Alabama. I'm not saying saying that Norfolk State is sorry. They are far from sorry, and they are good. They are up there. They're definitely up there. But I would say, like Alabama A&M this year also, Bethune-Cookman, I'm sorry. And I'm not the hugest Bethune fan, only because their shows kind of give me the snooze fest. What are you singing?
Ice Cream Man.
Oh, Lord. I know. You just want to start. You just want to start, Miss Rashad. I ain't paying attention to you.
Christy, to agree with you, when I was thinking about that, I did forget about Alabama A&M and all the great things I've thought about them. So let me add them to my top four. The top four best sounding bands in the nation are Norfolk, who did I say? Prairie View,
Alabama A&M,
FAMU, and Alabama A&M. And Prairie View and Norfolk were the ones I put at the top. The 3 and 4 are reversible. And this is pound for pound.
I need to hear a little more of FAMU before I put them up there. I need to hear some more. It's not that I don't think that they're up there. I've seen so little of them that, I need to hear more to judge. But, I can get with the other ones you said. I can get with those.
Okay. Cool.
I like Prairie View. I like Prairie View. I like Texas Southern. I like the fact that they put out so much power and they're not as big. So that kind of, I hate to say it, but that volume thing for me, it is part of it. So if I see somebody smaller and it's like they're able to at least hang or roll with you or hang with some of the bigger bands, I definitely think that's part of it. But definitely Alabama A&M was like who jumped out at me because it seems like, they've been developing, but they have actually, a really good sound. And I don't know if we've done Tennessee State that much this year. So I haven't really got that from them, but Alabama A&M jumps out.
Good. I was saying I didn't put Tennessee State on that list. I think they still have some things to work on.
Oh, you know what? I think we probably did. I can't remember what I said about it. I just know that I just think in my mind, I think you guys talked about it last week where it's like some schools you just get out of your mind. Even though they did give us like an L that I remember, I just see Jackson State just wiping Tennessee State out all those years in Memphis. So it's hard to really be like, man, the sound of Tennessee State is so good. Like, it's just different. It's in my head. So I asked you guys this since I have you guys. Well, you know what? My bad. Rashad, do you have anything else you want to talk about in this segment?
Oh, yeah. One last thing is we've been talking about the SWAC. Have you guys noticed that there seems to be 2 SWACs forming now? Think about this. On one side, you've got Southern, Jackson, Texas Southern, Alabama State. On the other side, you've got Alabama A&M, UAPB, Prairie View, and there's one more that's kind of like that. Who did I miss? I feel like I'm missing somebody. Maybe it's just those 3. But I don't know where Mississippi Valley State falls because Alcorn would be on that first list. I don't know where Mississippi Valley State falls because I haven't heard them. But it's like there are now at least 3 bands in the SWAC, and Grambling is on the first list as well. But there's now at least 3 bands in the SWAC that now have a definitive, we don't sound like everybody else sound. They're not just kind of there hanging on, like they're all pretty solid bands. So it's not just it's a double type of sound to the SWAC that's happening. Have you guys noticed that?
Should I dare say that they may be sounding MEAC-ish?
I'm not sure. I'm sorry. I had to scroll down.
I love how you got mysteriously quiet.
Well,
I was scrolling down.
Carlton Wright, the director at Alabama A&M, went to grad school in Hampton, and the guy that
I just added him on Facebook. Okay.
And Prairie View, the guy that said Prairie View, was one of the staff members at Norfolk. So there definitely is, that sound that's coming over there. You know, the MEAC is kind of.
So you're saying the MEAC is influencing the SWAC? Okay, nothing. Carry on.
You know, but have you noticed, like, now, because those bands, it has never been a time when all the bands in the SWAC sound the same, but it's been that most of the bands that are good sound the same. But now there are other bands that don't sound like the other bands. It's not go for broke. It's not veins popping out your skull type of sound for all the schools now. You can still be good and not play like that. Right, exactly. And no offense to that, because I love that sound too. But it's definitely a two-sided. It's two different sounds in the SWAC now. You can't just say the SWAC style anymore.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought they were like getting somewhat similar as far as like power is concerned. I think what tripped me out is, I guess, just Jackson State, and that was, I know I put it in the trailer, like entrance things that were different this year, or interesting things that are different this year, or what's popped out this year for us. And for me, it was definitely the instrumentation there at Jackson State. And I heard that the trumpets, a lot of them didn't return this year. I think I brought that up on another show as well. So they're missing a lot of folks that did not return. I heard that the upperclassmen class was really small coming back. No excuses, of course.
Right.
And of course,
yeah. Right. Jackson only has 50 trumpets. I mean, only 50. I mean, that's not really there's only 50 of them.
But they need 75, though. They need 75 for all the horns and the B-tones, to come back to funk glory. But yes, that jumped out at me. So, like, for me, it was like, man, it's just like everybody's getting louder. Or, like, it's like, or maybe, again, I was sleeping because I didn't know Prairie View was like that. But I think it's parody. I think the parody. And you're probably right because you have much more of that musical training. But I think it's that parody in the SWAC, man, where it's like, man, it's just legitimately there. And I think the MEAC is just much more clean. It's just the bands are smaller. I think that's really the only difference. It's just the numbers in the band, and especially in block band, not including like flags and auxiliary and stuff like that. Would you say that? Would you say that, Christy? That's like the only difference is just size.
Yeah.
Okay. See, we agree.
What were you saying?
We agree.
Yeah.
What are we agreeing to? I'm not sure. Greg, can you? What is that? What are we? I'm not sure if I agree. What are we agreeing to?
Well, no, I was saying that the only difference we don't really have differences between each other. It's just the population of the bands. So it's not a SWAC-ish or a MEAC-ish style. Yeah.
Oh no, there's definitely styles. Definitely.
Oh yeah, they're styles. I'm sorry, I misunderstood what you were asking. Yeah, they're different styles, but I don't know. Over the years, I've just heard so many people from the SWAC. They're just like, yeah, 'cause we from the SWAC and that's how we do it, and y'all from the MEAC, and saying the MEAC is it's a bad thing, and it just really irks my nerves because anyway, I could be talking about this all day. It just really irks my nerves.
Well, thanks for clearing that up because I was trying to just a second ago I was trying to agree with you because so we don't have any differences, but now y'all saying we do have style differences. So I'm gonna go back to my MEAC-ish and my SWAC statement then. Oh, what's talking about Bethune-Cookman? So there is a rocking, funky SWAC style and a rocking, funky MEAC-ish type joint. You know what I'm saying? There is.
Well,
I'm just saying.
The difference is, just to show you how deep it is, the differences are so distinct, Joe, that Block Band is actually, my company, as far as the ranges are concerned, are actually based off of that. And we arrange in 3 different styles. And one of them we call the Southwest style, the other one is called the Southeast style, and the other one is called the North style. And so I actually don't make a distinction between SWAC and MEAC because, again, all the bands in the SWAC don't sound the same. And in the MEAC, the bands in the North don't sound like the bands in the South. Like FAMU and Bethune-Cookman and old South Carolina State don't sound anything like A&T, Norfolk State, Hampton, and any of those bands. You know, and Tennessee State kind of sounds more like those bands than Tennessee State sounds like the SWAT. So it's kind of like where you are in the nation. But there's definitely a different, those three styles, I think it's a big difference in how you play and how you balance your instruments and how you arrange.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's parallel to like style and like geography and like rap. You know what I mean? Like you said, that Southwest style, you know, like maybe Texas, Louisiana, a lot of folks, because a lot as far as regional migrations are more north and south here in America. So a lot of folks in Mississippi, a lot of their folks moved to Chicago or they moved to Missouri or up and down I-55. Same thing with like New York and North Carolina, South Carolina. A lot of their people migrate north and south. So a lot of their folks so I think there's that difference, like you say, southeast, where it's just like more MEAC-ish, like, you know what I'm saying? And so we should celebrate it. But yeah, but I feel you, Christy. Like it is. I'm sure there's some haters that be like, yeah, it's better. And it's not better, but it is. It's like hip hop, straight up. Down south, like Pharrell, if West Virginia, you know, if you claim that, that's different than like Petey Pablo. Or no, I'm tripping. Not Petey Pablo. Like Slim Thug. Or Scarface, somebody from Texas. You know, y'all know what I'm saying, man.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I can get. I understand that.
Yeah, so like it's some regional stuff, you know. So, but yeah, that song at A&T, it was rocking though. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm feeling it. But yeah, that's so I guess that's the more thing I'm talking about. I guess we could go ahead and go to the next commercial break because I had a couple of questions to ask you guys, and I had wanted to bring something up. Had another, I don't know if you want to call it a strike. Well, it is a strike or another protest. We talked about Howard last week. We got another hashtag joint. Concerned Student 1950. Talking about University of Missouri. I just wanted to touch base and see what you guys thought about that, and also throw into the conversation those students choosing Missouri or other universities as opposed to Hampton or Norfolk or Jackson State, A&T, or those schools that maybe you don't have the same thing. Of course, pick your battles, pros and cons, bad places. But I wanted to bounce a couple things off you guys about that. Because someone talked to me about that yesterday, that some other young kids at the community college just all rolled into one. So I wanted to bounce that off you guys. Let me mute your microphone, and we'll go to the commercial break, the last commercial break. Thanks again for listening. If you want to call in and say what you saw or anything in our discussion, 718-664-6025. Thanks a lot for listening, and we'll be back.
Hello, this is Christine Nayo-Katzman, CEO and publisher of Halftime Magazine, and you are listening to the 90 Degree Show here on the Marching Podcast Network.
From photo shoots to graduation pictures, from probates to band footage, from pageants to yard shows, there's only one team you can count on, the Edge One Productions. Visit theedge1.com and trust me, you won't be disappointed.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
What if there was a Facebook for bands? Wait a minute, there is. Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org is a social network for HBCU show bands. You can create your own profile and post videos, photos, and comments on Bandhead.org. Need somewhere to post events, audition schedules, job postings? Check out Bandhead.org. Are you recruiting for talent? Go to Bandhead.org. Bandhead.org, a social network for bands.
Chopping It Up is a podcast of one-on-one interviews with positive role models that have a connection through music and or education. Chopping It Up is all about inspiring our youth for a great future and providing a roadmap on how to get there. We also chop it up to give insight to anyone looking for information or hope in their endeavors. Chop it up with us on Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern at blogtalkradio.com/marchingpodcast. Chopping It Up, changing the world through positive interaction.
Hey, this is Tiffany, and you're listening to the Marching Podcast. Hi, this is Nessa. You're listening to the Marching Podcast.
All right, welcome back. That's South Carolina State, the Marching 101, Marching 101, I believe. South Carolina State, that is. Let me unmute the microphones here. It's the Marching 101, right, South Carolina State?
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah, okay, yeah, just making sure. So, yes, bringing us back something with music. Know that song. We all know that song. 718-664. Oh, y'all messed me up. Y'all made me laugh. 718-664-6025. My bad. Thanks again for listening. Shout out to Christy and Rashad. It's been a really good year having you guys on, so I just want to give you guys some props. Gang of numbers just on fleek with the great representation we have. So we really appreciate it.
Did you say on fleek?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I'm connecting with what's in and the younger generation. Right. I said that.
Joe, you ain't got no chill.
I have no chill. That's old? Ain't that old?
No, that's pretty. That's newer than On Fleek.
About to say it because I hadn't heard that one. School break me down. What so you said? You own chill?
You ain't got no chill.
Oh, nice. Man, you ain't got no chill, man. I'm going to start saying that. Appreciate that, Rashad. I know, man. I think I like that. So appreciate that. Schooling, if you have anything else to let us know about, you guys can call in. I want to bounce a couple things. Oh, but right fast before we get into it, I wanted to tell everyone for the last time about Double Time Entertainment. Their passion is music and promoting HBCU marching bands as well as high school through high-quality movie videos and photos. Work with BET, Yamaha, Ludwig, Honda Motor Company, featured on CNN, Lifetime Network for Bama State Style, helped orchestrate Battle of the Bands with marketing and promotions, and became the official media team for the Queen City Battle of the Bands in Charlotte, North Carolina. So join them on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and now new on Periscope. Double Time Entertainment. Music lovers are noteworthy. Okay? Again, so I want to bounce something off. So it hits kind of home to me. I am a native Missourian and saw.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, born and raised in the STL. Shout out to Nelly, Leon Spink, all the people out there representing the STL horde, because, you know, that's how we do it. Shout out to you. Shout out to the Cardinals. Shout out to the Rams. I don't know if we won today, but you're looking good. Things are always looking up.
and really scared that you're going to leave. But I might be enjoying that because I live in the Los Angeles area somewhat, and I can still see the Rams. I'll send pictures from all my family members back home if they do move. So
go Panthers, though. Go Panthers.
And I do like Cam Newton. I've always been a Cam Newton fan, and of course my mother is a huge Panthers fan. So they're looking good as well. And they beat Green Bay today too, didn't they?
Go Panthers. You know, North Carolina A&T's Blue and Gold Marching Machine was the official band of the Carolina Panthers. Just saying.
That is when they did the nationwide search for the best band on the East Coast.
Because I remember Mr. Gray was trying to get Smith as the official of the. No, you know what? I think we were the Hornets joint. We were the official band of the Hornets for a little stretch.
Okay, we did, that's a good look.
Yeah, we did the little hotel rooms and popping it and shaking it in the hotel rooms for the Panthers. We did some halftime shows. I saw Patrick Ewing. Oh, you know, the hotel rooms.
Say what again?
The hotel rooms. I think we talked about it, but like Mr. Gray, man, he would find out.
Okay. Those type of hotel rooms, the banquet rooms.
Oh, yeah, man. It would be a lot of meetings or something, and it'd be like a room, and we'd just come up in there, showtime. Boom, 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 boom.
He said, yeah, I was popping it in the hotel rooms. That's just a whole different connotation. I got you.
Yeah, my bad.
I'm with you now. I'm sorry. I'm with you.
Well, that's what's up, man. But it's definitely that thought I had wanted to talk to you guys, all of our experiences going to the colleges, we chose. And it rolled into the whole thing going on at Missouri. So apparently, and I have some really close friends that attended University of Missouri, just similar to like everybody's state, where a lot of folks went to public school, a lot of folks, like end up going to that state university, So it's always a lot of talk about Columbia or just the whole state of Missouri, just not having, when you think of Missouri, you definitely think the Cardinals and stuff, but, Missouri definitely has its own racial issues as every other place would be. But talking about what happened, the students. So some football players have decided, based on some comments that were made by the president, that they are going to protest. Very similar to last week, Howard, dealing with some news, what's going on with their program. They decided to protest. They decided to take the action somewhere else. Christy, I want to ask you first, had you heard about the story, and what did you think about what they're doing? And do you have any hope for what they're doing?
Well, yes, I have heard about the story. Working in higher education, this is my field, so I try to keep up with, what's going on at different colleges around the country. And I had heard about the graduate student who started the hunger strike, and then as a response, the football players decided to strike from playing until the president stepped down. And so I have to say that I don't know all the details about this, but I know that there's been so many racial things going on Mizzou's campus for the past, in recent years, and apparently, like, somebody went in a building and drew a swastika with like feces or something. It was just disgusting. And so, I had heard about that, and I had just heard about like some of the things the students felt like they had to go through, and I had been following the hashtags. And so I think the big thing is that the one graduate student who started the hunger strike in response to all the things going on campus, and I support anybody who stands up for something like racism on their campus. I mean, I support anybody doing that. So, and then the football players in response, I mean, I think that's a really bold move with them, because I would think that quite a few of them would be affected by, some are receiving, some of them, or at least some of them are receiving some kind of scholarship or financial aid. And the fact that they don't they're not playing or they refuse to play until the president is removed or steps down, I think that says a lot. I mean, and you know, you're a native to Missouri, so you know, like, Mizzou football is a big deal, and I mean, I just applaud them taking a stand for that. So, yeah.
Rashad, did you hear about the story or?
Can you go to the next person?
Well,
why are you saying that?
Well, just based
I did not know about it. I'm actually pulling up Facebook right now. I'm sorry, I'm not talking to you.
That's cool. Yeah.
I happened. I saw, like, I remember Jonah looking on Facebook earlier today, and I saw something that said football players are protesting something, but I didn't. I'm sorry, I was disconnected from the world other than hearing a Periscope bling. So right. I apologize. So apparently, what did the president say, or what did he allegedly say? However you want to
talk. Well, he made a statement. He made
150. Go ahead, Christy.
Oh, I'm sorry. He made some kind of statement saying that, you know, I to me it sounded like academic ease, you know. I mean, he just said some kind of statement. Basically, he acknowledges it, but I don't think he's going anywhere. So.
Yeah,
what did he allegedly say?
I'm putting it up now. Well, I guess basically in response, you know, of all the things, his response was about systematic oppression. And one of, you can actually, I'm actually copying the link now to all the people in the chat room. You could actually check it out and see it there. But one of the students was asking him, of course he's been getting like harassed or razzed where he goes, and one of the students asked him about systematic racism. His response, I'm pulling it up, is, and they actually have the video on Twitter. Some people were actually videoing this on Twitter. And he says systematic oppression is because you don't believe that you have the equal opportunity for success. So that's what he said.
You don't believe.
Is because you don't believe that you have the equal opportunity for success. So,
and
you know,
their argument is, we don't have the opportunity. You know, that's what their argument is. We don't have the opportunity for you know, success. So.
Yeah, and students have been, you know, hitting him up on Twitter. You know, and you know, the thing that trips me out is, and I had to go there because it's just where I am. Like the decision to play at University of Missouri, and then the decision to protest, which is good, you know. But I always go back to, you know, the exposures of black schools, and did all of these players, you know, did somebody say, hey man, why don't you check out A&T, and what their response was? You know what I mean? And I mean, it's just like it's not, and of course not all of our psyche, but a lot of black folks, it's just immediately the default thought is that Harvard and the Ivy League is what we should be shooting for. And it's not FAM, or it's not like the, you know, Jive Time schools, if you will. We should be shooting for, quote unquote, a higher education, a higher success. And that higher success is assimilating ourselves into something, and that kind of has problems assimilating us for, like, I guess 500 years or so. So for me, that tripped me out. So I actually was talking to some of the dudes I actually went to high school with, and some of them, you know, went to Mizzou, and I think, you know, we were overall agreeing at the end of the day. But what I immediately think of is like these players back in the day could never go to Mizzou, but someone like Adolph Rupp or all these people saw the vision, like, hey man, you think about what the turnout we could have if some of these players were playing in our stadium. Like, we would have to put them in our schools, but hey, we'll have to get over that socially. Like, so now we got Bo Jackson and we got Herschel Walker at like Auburn and Georgia. But then, like, when you ask your own people about these schools, not only do they not know, but I've heard people like lie and say other stuff that will turn other black people off about black schools.
Mhm.
My frat brother, shout out to Eric. We had our achievement dinner last week for the Q's Pyro, and I saw Eric Johnson there. And I remember he said, man, I'm looking back on him and Avery Slaughter. Shout out to you, Avery. Root to the Bros. They were both saying, like, man, if I took that back over, I would have, like, done more research about a black school. I'll never forget Eric told me, man, I remember somebody told me that I wanted to go to Howard, but somebody black told me that they had rats in their dorms. So I totally X'd all the black schools off my list. I was like, what? But I'm thinking, like, that's not, like, surprising. I've even had Facebook conversations with people I went to high school with, and this fool was telling me that Mississippi schools down south in the late 90s had rats in their dorms. I was like, well, damn, I was in Mississippi. I didn't see no rats. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I've even heard of people come back to St. Louis and be like, man, I couldn't be in Southern, man. They had alligators down there. I guess it's just the whole.
That's so ridiculous.
It's like that whole self-hate, or it's just that we in our own community, in our own minds, have just totally discontinued the thought that, like, maybe a HBCU is, like, even subpar. You know what I mean? It's less than, and I don't know how we change. Well, I know how we change it. It's stuff like this, but it's actually that fight that we have to deal with. And that's something that I wanted to talk to you guys about. Had you guys ever heard other black folks, like, talking about black schools and, like, turning other folks off from them, but then, like, saying, oh, you should go to Mizzou and so-and-so because you got better problems, and then they go to Mizzou and then they, like, protest, or then they, like, form black student unions and have, like, all these black people get together stuff. Do you know what I mean?
So you're basically saying they create the black school experience there instead of they create. Yeah, they try to create what they could have just had when they were dissing it. Is kind of what you were saying. Is that what you were saying?
Because they believe that the education is not as well, or like when you go into an employer, you see like, oh, they went to Philander Smith. Like I'm never gonna get a job like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Have you experienced that with other black folks, Rashad? I asked you first, man.
I don't know that I've heard a person of influence say that, but I've heard young people who are thinking of choosing a school say things like that. You know, say things as to they want to go to this school as opposed to this one because, you know, I think, you know, my job opportunities will be better here, or, you know, or definitely they don't necessarily understand. So somebody has said something to them, you know. So I think I see more of the symptoms of that more so than I see people actually saying something like that. And you know, I just want to say honestly, college is what you make it wherever you go. You know, because it's all about you go to school to learn the basic skills that you need in order to become successful. It's all about going to school, meeting as many, creating your network, and getting the education that you need in order to go out there and do whatever it is that you're going to do. And so you can do that any place. There's tons of successful people that have gone all kinds of places, black schools, white schools, whatever schools, you know. So if there's anybody listening, I definitely want to encourage our young people to think about the HBCU experience. I think that that experience is incredible because in the media, we as African Americans are often perceived very negatively. And so, you know, to come to a place, you know, where you can go to a football game and there's thousands of black people, or you can go to a college and there's thousands of black people, and they're just going to school, they're getting their education, they drive cars, you know, they do all these type of things. You don't have a whole bunch of mess popping off. It's like, oh, no, this is actually the opposite of the things that you see in the media. So it's I would encourage any young person, black or white, or whatever your race is, in order to check out some of our incredible HBCUs.
Yeah, because there were white people there on campus at Jackson State. I remember when I was there. Definitely, I remember a couple of football players, of course, the whole golf team, of course, and I'm sure I think a lot of our baseball team was still black, but a lot of HBCU baseball teams are now majority white, believe it or not. And there's been a lot of real sports, a lot of talk about those coaches or those players going to HBCUs and getting the opportunity to play and getting the opportunity, to get the experience they need before they move on. But like you said, it's not closed off to black folks; it's to everyone. But yeah, I mean, that's just huge. Praying for those brothers there that are protesting. But I tell you, man, asking the president to step down, that's a tall order. You know what I'm saying? For that, and he'd be like, "Yo, we gonna play next week." Yo, that's gonna be a tough one. Christy, have you ever had any experiences like that, or talking to other folks about discouraging other black folks from going to black schools?
Yeah, I've experienced it. I had some friends that were very much like, I don't want to go to a black school because, you're going to have to deal with, you're going to have relationships and interact with people of all races anyway, so you might as well do it might as well learn how to do it in college. And I mean, I'm I am very much pro HBCU, but I also work at a non-HBCU, and so to save my job, because I will not be losing my job for saying whatever, I'm just going to abstain, but just know that, I love my school and I see good things about, there are lots of good things to have by going to an HBCU. It doesn't surprise me that those students are protesting. No, it doesn't surprise me, and I'll just leave it at that.
And I didn't mean to put you like in a bad spot, because I really just wanted to see if you had the experience. But yeah, I'm employed at a community college that's majority white, and I got my graduate degree from Indiana University of Pennsylvania, another PWI, PWC, or whatever. I guess I was addressing more the player or the student having the idea of, hey, you got the world in front of you, you got everything. Your immediate idea of your education at the next level, at the higher education, is what, and I hope that this podcast can do enough to help influence, just so that people could just look at an HBCU. You know what I'm saying? So maybe your first default thought is not the university of your state, or it's something that you maybe had some positive experience through, like a leadership program, or maybe like Rashad came to your school and reached out to you through music. Mm-hmm. You then later on went to Hampton because of that experience. That's what I hope that we could do, and just I hope all you HBCU graduates out there listening, you already have a job because the people employed you and believed you. Despite seeing that HBCU on your resume, I'm sure that they believed in you, but definitely wanted to just put out there to continue to do well, so we could change some of these images. And if you ever see somebody saying that, don't punch them in the face, but school them, because wow, I guess that's the main thing that hurt. Hearing DeBrusk saying that, but I've heard other people say that. A lot. In St. Louis, people come back that punched out and was like, "Oh man, I ain't going back down there." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, "Oh man, it was horrible. It was so hot. The bugs, like, But you knew it was
hot in the South anyway. You knew what the weather was. See, that's what I can't deal with that. I can't deal. You knew what the weather was gonna be.
Right.
Sorry.
Definitely, but it happens a lot. Go ahead, Rashad.
I think it's interesting that a lot of the HBCUs are compared to the very best schools in the nation. What I mean by very best, I mean like the schools that have the most money, and like for example, HBCUs are compared to Ivy Leagues, or and I think that's an unfair comparison. It's like if you compare, let's say, North Carolina A&T or Hampton or Jackson State to universities that are their size, like I would personally believe that they would completely destroy any university that's, their size, that has an equal amount of funding, that has an equal amount of students. You look at, how I think the notoriety of the school, like, for example, the fact that we have Hampton is a recognized name. A lot of people in the nation recognize Hampton. Versus if you compare it to a PWC that has the same amount of students, which is I think somewhere in about 6,000, and have our same amount of of matriculation, I think you will probably come across a lot of schools that are not nearly as recognized. You can't compare Hampton to UNC, where UNC has a student body of how many? 20,000.
Like 22. Well, it's really 29 if you add grad students. Yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
29,000, and their budget is ridiculously huge. But you compare us, to a university of other universities across the nation of our size in so many ways, as far as how many students that we graduate, how well known the university is, and bam, 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 going down the list. I think that you will find that the HBCUs are such an incredible buy. That you will get so much more than you bargained for versus universities of their same size. And I think that's because we're often compared, to other universities that are often bigger than us and have a bigger budget than we do.
That's actually a really good point, Rashad. I didn't even recognize that as all pro HBCU I am. That is actually the immediate response. When someone says, well, what if you could go to Yale? Or no one says, well, what if you could go to Barton County out in Kansas? Like, you know what I'm saying? They immediately bring up those other major schools, and I guess that's maybe a disparaging factor, like where you bring up something so massive in comparison.
Exactly.
So that's actually a really good point, man.
The reality of that point, Joe, is that the three of us probably could not name enough schools that are not HBCUs that are our size to really have a good conversation. Because see, us as HBCUs, we have a very good reputation, and the largest PWCs have major reputations. But schools that are our size, they don't have big reputations, so we can't even name them.
That's actually a really good point. And shout out to I think was it Janelle Bree? Is that her name? I know she called in last week. I know that she called in and she expressed the point about the admins and getting the school's name out there. I definitely believe in all my heart is that this is how you change that, through getting your band program at these classics and getting more notoriety out through your school because of the band program. Those major schools we're talking about, they have sports. And, they have these, like I saw the 30 for 30 with Colorado and their coach, and he was like, you got to recruit the black athlete. Saying like we're this mystical figure. You know what I'm saying? But you got to recruit them. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important. And, I mean, he flipped it, too. I mean, dude, like, went around like preaching about inequality and racism. So dude, he had his stuff together. He had his ducks in a row. You know what I mean? But I guess that's the whole point that I was getting to is and these young minds making sure that we're perceived as the same. But Rashad, I think I'm really glad you brought up that point. In those comparisons, if we start doing more of those, I think we'll do well. But everyone continue to support your schools, keep doing what we're doing, because we definitely want to build our craft so that, Howard, wherever they go, they build their student tuition, not tuition, sorry, that's the wrong word, their student population through getting out to these classics and seeing the band. Just like Alabama's all popular just because they be on ESPN every 5 minutes. And the Cowboys, even though they ain't that good, they always putting their face somewhere. Jerry Jones always putting his face somewhere. Well, I mean,
you know what? You sound a little mad.
Well, not mad at the Cowboys.
A little bit like a hater. Just a little hate.
I do hate on the Cowboys. I can
see,
stand.
I could tell in the way you said that. I was like, he don't like them.
You like
Joe,
the Cowboys?
You ain't getting no chill, man. You ain't getting no chill.
You like the Cowboys, Christy?
Hey, I rep Me Fi Me. That's who I rep.
Oh, okay.
I like the Panthers. They all right.
Oh, okay. Well, you should be happy. You should jump in the whole Cowboy hate because it's really fun. There's Laker hate.
No, but
Cowboy
the
hate.
thing is, I'm not a Redskin fan either. And growing up in Virginia, everybody around me was a Redskin fan. My family were not Redskin fans. So, I mean, I guess I'm pretty neutral on the Cowboys, but I'm not a big Redskin fan.
Oh, okay. But there are no teams that you hate other than Norfolk State.
I did not say that I hate Norfolk State.
No,
you know what? Hate is a very strong word. Now,
no,
I
it's
will
a
say
fun.
I am.
It's a fun fan word. It's a fun fan word.
I'm not a Duke fan. I'll say that.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
It's not. She doesn't hate them. It's just that if she saw a band member from Norfolk State that was drowning in the water, she would take a hose and stick it in his throat. It's pretty much what would happen there. But it's not a hate thing.
Right.
I mean, you would think that you would point that hate towards Norfolk State to the Hampton person that's on the line, but no.
Oh well, I mean,
you gotta put me in it.
No, I do. But Rashad, he proud of it though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rashad, he'll own it. You know what I'm saying? So getting close to the end, another really good talk. But yeah, I'm really glad I got to bounce that off you guys.
That's why y'all want me on the show, because it's always 2 against 1. You boys always side. That's okay though.
No,
because we were beating up on Joe 2 weeks ago about the Honda.
I was about to say, you just getting on me like, what kind of podcast was you without going in a Honda? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. I that still stands.
Yeah, and then y'all were talking about the funk. Y'all was talking about the funk too. I could probably sit here and think a couple of things.
So while we're talking about a couple of things as the show is coming to an end, let me just point out real quick that I've got my ticket already, Joe.
Oh, they're on sale?
Yeah, well, Christy put them on sale. She's got the Skybox. So I bought it that same day or the next day.
Yep.
So we're waiting on you, man.
She's about it.
Where did you post it?
Email me.
Okay,
yes, we are hosting the 5th quarter for I don't know what year this has been, but we've done it like a whole bunch of years of the Honda. We are hosting a Skybox, a party suite for the Honda Battle of the Bands. You get up there, you get your food, you get your private bathroom, you get to stretch your legs out and sit on the leather couches, and you get to talk all the trash you can handle with a bunch of band heads. I'm sorry, what did you say, Rashad?
So you can charge your phone?
Oh, yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. You can also charge your phone. So, yeah, all the trash talk you can handle with all the band heads that you want to meet. And it's people from different schools. And so, yeah, if you're interested, holler at me. Hit me up on Facebook. Hit me up on the 5th. And Sky-Fi Box.
Okay, well, I'm down. I definitely want to go. I just got to try to pull it off, ask my wife and everything.
You just picked up a new sponsor. I mean, you've done 2 verbal commercials for Double Time. That ought to be enough. You might have to raise that fee on Double Time a little bit to get you there.
But not block band though. I see what you're doing, but not block band though. Okay.
Hey, we've been block bands been since the beginning.
Right, he's on the ground floor. We
did the director series.
Yeah. Oh, and shout out to you, Barney, man. If you're listening, I know that too. We open the things up to all our sponsors. If you guys, and again to potential sponsors, if you have like a podcast idea or something that we can broadcast on the network to continue to build our craft and follow our programming, we will do that as well. We'll iron out the details. Barney, he has some questions about the Skybox, so we will take those offline. So Barney, we'll find out all the information, man, and that'll be good. So I get to meet everybody in person.
Tell Barney to holler at me. Tell him to holler at me.
Definitely. Yeah, he's logged into the chat room, so he definitely.
Okay.
So while we're getting to the end, I'll go ahead. Christy, you have anything else to close us out for tonight?
No, not really. Just I hope everybody has a great week and stay safe. And
Rashard, what about you, man?
Yeah. So you said Double Time has a sponsorship, right?
Yes.
And Block Band has a sponsorship, right?
Yes.
Bandhead.org has a sponsorship, right?
That is.
You said bandhead.org has a sponsorship?
Yep, Bandhead, Gerard and HBCUbands.com. And Garrett Ederson representing the S and the Edge One Productions.
But definitely bandhead.org has a sponsorship, right?
Yes, that's correct.
The website for marching bands.
Yes.
Has a sponsorship. The website for marching bands has a website. I mean, it has a sponsorship.
You know what you get on my ever-loving nerves, God. You really do.
I just noticed that there seems to be one that's missing there, Joe. So I'm just,
But you know what, though? See.
Well, okay. We already know Block Band Music and Publishing.
No, the Block Band, yeah, we got Block Band. We got it, but there's another key player in this thing that seems, I don't know, it could have some commercials or something, you know what I mean?
Well, I tell you, man, that
can help you get to the skybox, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'm scared of them because, they're like the mecca of it all. So, but I tell you, though, I definitely let people know to check out the mecca. Because that's where you got to go to keep your ear to the street, to the people.
Right. But this is so funny because, I heard, this is just a rumor I heard. I heard that the Mecca is being paid for out of pocket by the owners.
Yo también. That would be me too in Spanish for the Marching Podcast.
Okay.
I'll just throw that out there. But I'm willing to,
you know what, Rashad, you get on my nerves. But you did pay for the skybox in full. So I mean, I can only complain, but so much,
Well, I'm definitely down.
You were very quick with your payment, and I do appreciate that. that.
Barney said B3 in the chat room.
What did you say, B3?
He said, yeah, B3. That's what Barney said in the chat room. So I guess we all with you, Christy. We all rolling. I actually had someone posted this drum corps out in Switzerland. These adult guys, and they look pretty good. They you guys
about, secret top secret.
Yeah, I think it's top secret.
That's what they're called. Yeah.
But what jumped out at me is that they said that that's what they do in their spare time, just like what we doing now in the fifth quarter and the block band and double time. This is what we do in our spare time. So we all connect. And that's why we trying to build this craft. So Oprah will cut us a check, and then we'll do it full time, and then we'll be off the chain then.
I would love to do a full time. Oh yeah.
We'll be on TV. Ludacris will be showing up at A&T band practices, you know what I'm saying, because we'll be so big. I mean, it'd be off the chain. So
Flavor was already at A&T band practice.
Really?
Yeah, that was a while back. I know where I was living at the time. It wasn't, and that was like 10 years ago almost.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. It was when Flavor was hot during the Flavor of Love
on
and
the
all
show. That. Oh yeah, that was the bomb, boy. That was a good show.
What, Rashad? You know what? We gonna fight. And what's funny is I know where you work, so let's not go there because I know where you work, sir.
Yo, the last time I saw Christy, see this is to help out with all of this. I said, Christy, let me know what we need to do. To maybe get some ads on the fifth quarter or something like that. Yeah, I hit you up.
Stop lying. Oh my God! I can't believe
What? I'm lying.
like that.
What? No. Yeah, I get back. Yeah, I'll see. I'll think about it.
Say it with a straight face because you know you're lying.
What? Okay, let's talk then. We'll talk.
But it was
and then I get the
lying.
sponsorship, and then you can sponsor Marching Podcast.
But it was funny though, Chris. It was funny though. It definitely helped with I bet you our listeners are laughing. Well, yeah, we'll definitely work out some stuff online, y'all. So let's close out the show. Thank you for listening. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor or a patron, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria to start to pub your business using our platform. That's all the time we have for tonight. Check out the website. All the people, okay. I know. I think I got Chrissy Rashad still on the line, but all you iTunes, all the podcast listeners, thanks for listening. All the live folks can't hear us, but again, thanks for listening. And remember, the lectures you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lessons by observing what you do. See you next time.
Shot is a mess.